Hello, good morning, good evening, and welcome to Big World Cinema. Without further ado, we'll continue with what you're here for. And to ensure this channel survives, please don't skip the ads. Thank you. Before I stepped foot in the Philippines, I'd read numerous success stories about foreign expats who'd moved to the Philippines in search of love and had achieved happy endings with Filipina partners. I'm a member of a few Facebook groups with foreigner group members based both in the Philippines and overseas. Whenever I go on Facebook to read my feed, there's always stories about guys who've been cheated on or scammed out of their life savings by Filipinas. I've been living in the Philippines over 3 years now, and the longer I've stayed in this country, I'm hearing or reading more and more horror stories. Many expats watching my videos have commented about their disastrous experiences, so I want to share my personal experiences about a couple of encounters I've had over the past year. Fortunately, not disastrous, but as a heads up to guys new to Filipina behaviour. When I arrived in Davao in Mindanao at the tail end of December last year, I met a couple of Telecom engineers who were quick to tell me that if I was looking for a Filipina, that I should choose carefully. Ha! Tell me about it, I thought. Now, some viewers might already have watched my journey to a province in Mindanao earlier that month to meet Gwendolyn. What I've never revealed, however, until now, is the full story of that relationship. We'd first connected on OkCupid at the beginning of August 2022. I was living in Cebu at the time. Gwendolyn asked for my WhatsApp number, then immediately FaceTimed me, with her grinning the whole time. She said she was single and open for dating. She said the previous year she'd dated an older American guy who she'd met the once in Mindanao, but he'd cheated on her. Naturally, as soon as the video call ended, I went onto Facebook. Filipinas think they're being smart by using a username on dating sites, which is actually their real name backwards. It doesn't take a genius to work that out. I typed her username and Mindanao into Facebook, and Bob's your uncle, her profile immediately sprang up. That was easy. Gwendolyn had been with the same guy for 5 years, was engaged. Later that day, Gwendolyn FaceTimed me again. I asked her if she was in a relationship. No, she said. What's your Facebook page? I asked. Now, those of you who've corresponded with Filipinas will know that the majority of Filipinas use Facebook, and many of them won't just have one Facebook account. They'll have a number. One they keep for friends, husband and family, and others to woo unsuspecting foreigners, which they link together, befriending themselves, which is pretty easy to detect without the assistance of Lieutenant Colombo. After we ended the call, Gwendolyn sent me her Facebook profile, or one of them. I can't remember which one, but even the one she'd sent had images of her and her boyfriend, which she was currently deleting as I was looking at them. I messaged her sending screenshots of herself with her fiance. Gwendolyn swore she was not in a relationship, saying it was an old Facebook account, even though there were images taken that month. Having caught her off guard, Gwendolyn was having to think on the hoof. Said she wasn't engaged, was only engaged on Facebook, and was in an open relationship to her boy best friend, who she was in love with. But in real life, she wasn't engaged and looking to find a better boy who can love her in the future. If any of that makes any sense. I wonder what her only engaged on Facebook fiance would think about that. Although Gwendolyn did say her open relationship best boyfriend had given her permission to meet the American who visited her. I was annoyed with her, told her she was an internet scammer, which was probably a bit harsh. She said she was a liar, not a scammer, had just wanted to be friends with me and know me more, even though she'd originally said, if you want to be with me, be with me. I didn't know what to believe, but a week later, after the dust had settled, I messaged her. I liked chatting with Gwendolyn, but finding out she was already engaged, albeit only on Facebook, I had no real desire to get involved with her. From then on, she would regularly FaceTime me from the coffee shop where she worked. It was normally her calling me. In fact, she told me about another foreigner who'd come to visit her in Mindanao and would video call me in tears asking my advice. After a few months, our communication became less regular, so we'd only chat every fortnight or so. At the beginning of November, I left Cebu and started travelling around the Philippines. But being unvaxxed, I was still restricted by which islands I could visit. Mindanao was on my itinerary, and I told Gwendolyn that we could meet in December. Although I was uncertain whether I'd be able to go to Mindanao or not. When I sent her a selfie in front of a Cagayan de Oro sign in Mindanao, Gwendolyn was surprised and also not at all excited that I'd finally arrived in her backyard. For the next couple of days I texted, but Gwendolyn didn't reply. And when she eventually did respond, said she didn't have load for her phone. Rather than meet me in Cagayan de Oro as originally agreed, she asked if I could come to her house and meet her mother. So I did. Having chatted with Gwendolyn for 5 months, I wanted to meet her, but went along completely without any illusions that something would develop between us. If you've watched that video, you'll have picked up what a strange meeting and awkward afternoon it was. But I just went along for the ride, knowing full well there wouldn't be a happy ending. When I published the video, Gwendolyn messaged me saying she was disappointed that I'd mentioned she was engaged and put photographs in the video of her and her boyfriend. You said he was your boy best friend, I said. She also thought that I'd made fun of the people there and pleaded with me to take the video down. Then later she relented as long as I removed the photographs of her and her only engaged on Facebook fiance and also edited a couple of the scenes. 4 months later, after we'd had no contact since I'd modified the video, Gwendolyn messaged me on WhatsApp saying, "Sorry, everything what I did."
Here at BWC, Uncle doesn't charge a subscription fee like Auntie does, but buying us a coffee would be much appreciated. Thank you.
Chatting with Filipinas who already have boyfriends, whether he's Filipino or a foreigner, is a common theme. I've chatted with many Filipinas that have kids with a Filipino boyfriend, but are active on the dating websites seeking an upgrade. Like with Gwendolyn, a simple Facebook search will reveal happy family photographs of Filipino boyfriend and children online. Sometimes the boyfriend is actually in on the scam. But other times, Filipinas will look for a foreigner boyfriend to fund a better lifestyle without the Filipino boyfriend knowing. I was holidaying on Alona Beach. You might know this story as I've documented it already in another video entitled Are Filipinas Faithful? It was mid-November, my first day at Alona Beach, having arrived the night before from Bantayan Island. It was Friday afternoon and I'd already had a couple of happy hour San Miguels at 50 pesos each. Was strolling along the beach. There were lots of Filipino families on the beach as it was a cloudy afternoon, whereas Filipinos normally don't go out in the afternoon sun. As I was walking, I was stopped in my tracks by a Filipina wanting to engage with me. She was probably in her 30s with her husband and 3 young children, plus a couple of young Filipinas who worked for her. She immediately asked me which one I wanted. I felt like I was back in Thailand with a mama-san offering one of her girls. "I'll take both," I said jokingly. "No, you can only have one," she replied. "How about this one?" she said, indicating the smaller girl, who looked barely legal. I veered towards the girl with the fuller figure. "But maybe she's not interested in me," I said. "Oh, I am," said the fuller figure girl, edging closer. The mama-san told her to be cool and take things slow. I was offered drinks and stood chatting with a cute Filipina who said she was single. A single mum, no less, obviously. Although the word single in the Philippines is interpreted differently. Filipinas will often use the word single to mean that they're not married rather than not in a relationship. I've met a number of women either in the flesh or online who say they're single but then discover they have a boyfriend. Anyway, back on the beach, the jailbait Filipina took photographs of the single mother and me entwined. The father of her child wasn't loyal and had cheated on her, which I said was a common theme I'd heard of repeatedly. I was just passing through Bohol, had no intention of getting serious with her, but I was just going with the flow, enjoying the drinks and the attention. Although my Filipina wasn't drinking as she was still on duty, keeping an eye on the children. She said we could drink together another time. At one point she opened her phone to take my Facebook details. Her screensaver was a photograph of her close up with a Filipino guy, which I registered but didn't comment on. After sunset, the family packed up their stuff and I hugged her goodbye, then forgot about her. It wasn't until the following day that I accepted her friend request. Then the day after, when I sent her a message, which she didn't respond to. 3 days later, as I was taking an early morning stroll along Alona Beach by the restaurants, I noticed a cosy couple on the pathway ahead of me, standing looking at the ocean. The girl was standing furthest away from me, and as she leaned forward and saw me walking towards them, her face looked aghast, and she quickly buried her head into her Filipino boyfriend's shoulder. As I walked past them, I shouted, "I can see you!" Afterwards, I thought I should have just stopped, introduced myself, pretended that I didn't know her, and had an innocent conversation asking them about their relationship. But I didn't want to embarrass the Filipina, who a few days earlier had shown me interest, saying she was single and available. Other times I've actually come across Filipinas on dating websites who have come clean saying they're in a relationship and are not available. I'm intrigued by this. What are they doing on a dating website? I started chatting online to a very pretty girl in Cebu. Said she was a vlogger, and we exchanged a few messages, my saying I was a vlogger too. What I really wanted to know was what her boyfriend's thoughts were on her chatting to other guys. Or wasn't he aware that she was on there? But she'd already stopped responding to me. Maybe she'd already found a replacement for her foreigner boyfriend and had traded up. If you're looking for a Filipina partner, take your time. Do background checks and choose carefully, as the Filipino engineers advised. I saw an interview with a Christian vlogger who said it took him 9 years before he found the most suitable companion. Good luck with your search.
Just a quick reminder to please click the thumbs up button if you liked the video, or thumbs down button if you didn't. Obviously. Thank you.
If you liked the video, please could you like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to ding the notification bell to see my videos before your friends. See you on the next video. Take care everyone.